Barley is mentioned again and again in the Bible, a symbol of God's provision, humility, and how the ordinary can be used for extraordinary things. So I decided to include barley with my baking today. I'm making a sourdough using purple barley, hard white wheat, and spelt, and a sourdough starter made from rye. Let's bake something meaningful today. I will let you know that this was a very hearty, dense bread, so if you are looking for something that mimics white, fluffy bread, this is not the recipe. My day started very early, so I had to get the coffee going first. And then using my amazing classic Nutrimill, I milled 250 grams of hard white wheat, 250 grams of spelt, and 100 grams of barley. I am using the purple barley, which was very interesting. I placed the majority of the flour in the bowl and then added a tablespoon of flaxseed. I just really wanted to add more fiber and I wanted it to be very nutty. A tablespoon of sesame seeds, 2 teaspoons of sea salt. I'm using the Bosch, which has been my favorite so far. 2 tablespoons of psyllium husk, which adds more fiber and it also helps with the bread's texture. I went ahead and put the rest of the flour on top, and the Bosch mixer would have done a great job, but I just like to know that it's all going to be well incorporated. I then added 2 cups of room temperature water and 100 grams of my sourdough starter, which I got straight from the fridge. I fed it the day before, allowed it to get nice and bubbly, and I just put it in the refrigerator waiting for the day. I then began to knead the dough, and the Bosch does such an excellent job, and it took about 5 minutes to get it to the texture that I was looking for. I wanted to do some stretch and folds, and it's a little bit easier in a bowl, so I went ahead and transferred it to an oiled bowl, allowed it to proof for 30 minutes, and then I did my first stretch and fold. For this particular recipe, I ended up only doing 2 stretch and folds 30 minutes apart because I had a very busy day. I had to leave the house and I didn't get back until the next step. I cover with a fairly damp tea towel to keep the dough from drying out, and I leave the light on in the oven so that it adds a little bit of warmth. 6 hours later, it was time to shape the dough. I pulled it out of the bowl onto an oiled surface. Look how nice the dough looks. I just knead the dough a few times and prepare it for the pan. For this recipe, I am using a 9-inch stone pan, and I make sure that I oil it well. I added some water to the bottom of a roasting pan, and I placed the bread pan inside it so it acts like a nice steam bath. I'm going to be honest, I forgot about my bread and I let it proof for about 3 hours, and I think it would have been ready 2.5, but it was okay. I scored it and I bake all of my bread in cold ovens. I start the bread in a cold oven because that slow, gradual preheat actually helps to do a final proof. So I baked it at 425 degrees for 1 hour, and then it was ready. If you turn the bread on its side as it cools, it will help it not to fall or have spaces that you don't want in the bread, but I just can't wait. So I wait about 5 minutes because I want that bread hot out of the oven, and then I slice and take a bite. Like I said before, this is a more dense bread, and I love the nutty flavor packed with nutrients. And I served this to so many people to try because my book club is actually doing Healthy Treasures for Living by Annette Reader. And this chapter just happened to be on grains. So I brought the bread to the bread class for the ladies to try it, and they loved it. And I love how simple this bread is. Think about it. It's really just the grain, water, and salt. Of course, I had my additions, but other than that, super basic, super easy. No honey, no oil, none of that jazz. And it's just a nice, basic loaf. I went on to use it for sandwiches, and as you can see, it was a mouthful, but very delicious. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I just wanted to share something I did that was using a grain that I had never used before. I have never used spelt or barley in bread making, and I will be doing more in the future. If you try it, please let me know what you think. And let me know in the comments below, what are some of the things that you're trying and actually loving? If you would please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, I thank you so much. And if you will share this information with those that you know would be interested. If you are ready to purchase a mill, I have my favorite linked in the description below. And I also share where we get our grains. Have a great day, and thanks again for watching.